It looks wrong, don't you think? Lena mused, her gaze fixed on the pale orb hanging in the azure sky.
The moon? Looking like it always does? That's what's wrong?
No, silly. The moon during the day, it's like God just forgot where he put it. She laughed, her voice like wind chimes.
God doesn't make mistakes, Lena.
Oh, really? Then what about the platypus? Or mosquitoes? Seems like a few design flaws to me. Lena's eyes twinkled mischievously.
Those are just unique expressions of creation, Kane countered, though a smile played on his lips.
Unique? You mean like that time I tried to bake a cake and it came out looking like a doorstop?
That, Kane said, his smile widening, was definitely a unique expression.
Their laughter faded, replaced by a comfortable silence. Lena sighed. You know, if we could live forever, we could see the moon in the daytime for a very long time.
Immortality, huh? Kane mused. Science is working on it. Telomeres, for example.
Lena's eyebrows shot up. Telomeres? You and your science talk.
Hey, it's fascinating, Kane protested. They're like little caps on our DNA. Every time a cell divides, the telomeres get shorter. Eventually, they get so short the cells can't divide anymore. That's aging, basically.
So, if we could stop the telomeres from shortening, Lena trailed off, her eyes widening.
We could theoretically live much longer, Kane finished, his voice laced with wonder.
Imagine, Lena breathed, seeing the moon for centuries, millennia even.
We'd have to find a more exciting topic of conversation after the first 1,000 years or so, Kane teased, nudging her playfully.
Lena swatted his arm with a laugh. Oh, you think you're so funny, Mr. Science Man. Their playful banter was interrupted by a sudden, heavy silence. The air around them seemed to thicken, as if the weight of unspoken words pressed down on them. Kane's gaze drifted towards the horizon, his eyes searching for answers in the vast expanse of the sky. A troubled look crossing his face, as if he was grappling with a thought too heavy to bear alone. Lena, sensing his shift in mood, felt a pang of worry. She had seen that look before, a look that meant something was deeply troubling him. She reached for his hand, her touch gentle yet firm, offering silent support. S1. Media. Woman reaching out to hold a hand, comforting handhold.
What is it, Kane? What's wrong? Her voice was soft, filled with concern and a hint of fear.
He hesitated, the words caught in his throat. He had always been careful with his secrets, but this one weighed heavily on him. Then, as if drawing strength from her presence, he squeezed her hand gently, a silent promise that he would share his burden.
There are things, he began, his voice barely above a whisper, as if afraid the stars themselves might hear. Things about my work that I can't talk about. His eyes darted around as if searching for unseen listeners.
Work? But you're an astrophysicist. Lena's confusion was evident. She had always admired his dedication to his work, but she never imagined it could be a source of such distress. You study stars and planets. She continued, trying to make sense of his cryptic words. What could be so secretive about that? Her curiosity was piqued, but so was her concern.
Stars. He paused, choosing his words carefully. The night sky seemed to hold its breath, waiting for his revelation. Hold more secrets than you could possibly imagine. His voice was filled with a mix of awe and fear, as if he had glimpsed something beyond human understanding. Kane had spent countless nights poring over star charts, his mind racing with theories and possibilities. The universe was vast and mysterious, and he had always been drawn to its secrets. But recently he had stumbled upon something that defied all logic, something that made him question everything he knew. Lena could see the turmoil in his eyes, the battle between his duty to his work and his need to protect her from the truth. He took a deep breath, steeling himself to continue. He knew he had to tell her, even if it meant shattering her sense of security. Lena held his hand tighter, her resolve strengthening. Whatever it was, they would face it together. Kane looked at her with gratitude, a small smile forming on his lips. He was not alone in this, and that made all the difference. Together, they looked up at the night sky, united in their quest for answers. The stars held many secrets, but they were ready to uncover them, one by one. The night sky was filled with stars, each one a beacon of hope and mystery. And as they stood there hand in hand, they knew that no secret was too great to be uncovered, no mystery too deep to be solved. Their journey was just beginning, and the universe had many more secrets to reveal. To be continued.
Intrigued, Lena pressed him further.
Secrets like what? Tell me, Kane.
He shook his head, his jaw clenched tight.
I can't, not yet, but why?
Lena insisted, her curiosity piqued. Kane took a deep breath as if steeling himself for something.
This mission, it's bigger than both of us. It's about the survival of humanity.
His words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken implications. The room was silent, the kind of silence that presses down on you, making every breath feel like a weight. It was as if the very air around them was holding its breath, waiting for something to break the tension. Lena stared at him, her mind racing. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, each beat echoing in her ears. What could be so important that it left him speechless? She had known Kane for years, and never had she seen him so lost for words. What could be so important? She replayed his words in her mind, trying to decipher the hidden meaning behind them. It was unlike Kane to be cryptic, and that only added to her growing unease. And what did the moon have to do with it? She glanced out the window, her eyes drawn to the glowing orb in the night sky. The moon had always been a source of wonder and mystery, but tonight it felt different. There was an almost palpable energy emanating from it. As if in answer to her unspoken question, the moon above them seemed to shimmer. It was a subtle change, but one that sent a shiver down her spine. The light it cast was not the usual soft glow, but something more intense, almost otherworldly. A dark line appeared across its surface, faint at first, then growing wider with alarming speed. Lena's breath caught in her throat as she watched the line expand, splitting the moon in two. It was as if the very fabric of the night was being torn apart.
What's happening?
Her voice was barely more than a whisper, the words trembling on her lips. She turned to Kane, hoping for some kind of explanation, but his expression only mirrored her own confusion and fear.
Lena whispered, her voice trembling. The room seemed to close in around her, the walls pressing in as the moon continued its eerie transformation. She felt a cold sweat break out on her forehead, her hands shaking uncontrollably. Kane's eyes were fixed on the moon, his face pale. He had always been the strong one, the one who faced danger head-on without flinching. But now, he looked as if he had seen a ghost. The fear in his eyes was something Lena had never seen before.
I don't know, but I have a terrible feeling we're about to find out. His voice was strained, each word laced with dread. The air around them seemed to grow colder, the shadows in the room deepening. Lena could feel the weight of the unknown pressing down on her, a sense of impending doom that left her breathless.
The world around them began to spin. Lena felt a wave of dizziness wash over her, and then everything went black. She woke with a gasp, her heart pounding in her chest. She was lying on cold, hard ground. Above her, a sky ablaze with stars, unfamiliar and vast. Disoriented, Lena sat up and looked around. She was in a clearing, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to whisper secrets to the wind. In the distance, a fire crackled, casting flickering shadows that danced in the darkness. And then she saw it. Lena had always been fascinated by the night sky, often spending hours gazing at the stars and the moon. But tonight was different. Tonight the sky held a secret, a mystery that would change everything she thought she knew. Hanging low in the sky, split cleanly in two, was the moon. It was as if some cosmic force had taken a knife and sliced it right down the middle. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying, a celestial anomaly that defied all logic and reason. But this was no ordinary moon. This was a moon that seemed to defy the very laws of nature. It was as if the universe itself was trying to send a message, a warning of things to come. The light it emitted was not the soft, gentle glow of a typical moonlit night. No, this light was different. This moon pulsed with an eerie, otherworldly light. It was a light that seemed to reach deep into the soul, stirring emotions and thoughts that had long been buried. It was a light that spoke of ancient secrets and forgotten truths, of worlds beyond our own and the mysteries that lie within them. As Lena stared at the impossible sight, she felt a mixture of awe and dread. What could this mean? Why was the moon split in two? And what was the source of that strange, pulsating light? Her mind raced with questions, each one more urgent than the last. A figure emerged from the shadows. It was Kane, her longtime friend and confidant. Kane had always been a man of mystery, someone who seemed to know more than he let on. And tonight, it seemed, he had answers. His face illuminated by the firelight, casting long shadows that danced and flickered in the night. The firelight revealed a man who had seen much, who had faced dangers and challenges that most could only imagine. A A mixture of fear and determination etched on his features. Kane's eyes met Lena's, and in that moment she knew that whatever was happening, they would face it together. There was a bond between them, forged in the fires of shared experiences and mutual trust.
Lena, we have a lot to talk about. His voice was steady, but there was an undercurrent of urgency. This was not a conversation that could wait. There were things she needed to know, things that would change her understanding of the world and her place in it.
And with that, he led her towards the fire, towards the warmth and light that it offered. The fire was a beacon in the darkness, a symbol of hope and safety in a world that had suddenly become very uncertain. Towards the heart of the mystery, towards the answers that lay hidden in the shadows. The forest around them was dense and dark, the trees standing like silent sentinels, guarding the secrets that lay within. Towards a truth more incredible than either of them could have ever imagined. The night sky stretched out above them, a vast expanse of stars and galaxies, each one a reminder of the infinite possibilities that the universe held. And as they walked, Lena couldn't help but feel that they were on the brink of something extraordinary, something that would change their lives forever.